Sim Racing Hub enters its 11th season, 20 rounds. Who will win tonight? It's Thursday night! One, two, three, 4, 5 lights. And we're racing in Suzuka. Last chance at Hungary.
No way.
No way. Oh my god.
He spun. Fisher is going slow. Did he run out of fuel?
Is Ricardo Sr. gonna get a point? This is why you love P11, ladies and gentlemen. There it is. Battle for the podium, back and forth. Oh, here comes Montero again. Oh, they're in the wall. Ho ho! It's Thursday night at Sim Racing Hub, and we are in Budapest. The hilly Buda sits on the west bank of the city, while the flat Pest stretches across the east bank, separated by the River Danube. We are at Hungary for round 11 of the Sim Racing Hub 2026 World Championship. I am Matt Hartley, and with me broadcasting the cameras is one Janos Magasrevi. Will he have taken pole in 2022? We will have to wait and see for the graphic. I'm sure if he did, he will have the graphic ready. So we are in round 11, definitely into the second half of the calendar season here. And Josh Mills still leads the championship, leading the charge. We will go to San Marino and Monza after this race before we go back, actually. We're actually 3 Italian races in a row. We have San Marino, Monza, and then we have Mugello. I don't know how Italy got 3 races. I never realized that before. But they did. So we are focusing here on Budapest and Hungary. A very, very tight circuit. And we are already into qualifying here. As we're, of course, going to watch on board with Argenis Riera. Not the championship leader, but he leads the timesheets pretty much always going into the race and often gets pole position. We'll see if he can do that here today. So, no fun corner names, unfortunately, here at the Budapest circuit. Just boring old numbers. Who likes numbers? So, we'll have to kind of try and keep it interesting here. There is quite a lot of turns around this track. There's also 70 laps here today, with tires that can only be described as marshmallows. The C1, C2, C3, I believe, is the compounds, and the softest compound that we have, this compound, the C1, is, well, it's good for maybe half a lap. So we'll see if Riera is going to go really wide round the final turn and onto the back straight. We will open the DRS wide open. 2 DRS zones here in qualifying and the race. Some traffic in front of us. Brake after the white line. A beautiful white line going into turn 1. Nice and easy. The white line on the exit of 1, of course, is for DRS. Into a tricky turn 2. It's downhill. Getting the car stopped is difficult. But if you've got a car like Riera, you just throw it in and make it work. Now we're going up to one of the best corners on the circuit. Turn 4. Oh, flicker downshift. You can't hit that outside curb. Turn 5's a tricky long right-hander. Oh, just keeps it on the circuit. And then to the 6-7 chicane. Opting to take a little bit of the second curb, but not the first curb. 8 and 9. Very important complex on the track. There's a lot of left-rights here. Now we go easy flat through 10 and turn 11. The tires are screaming the front left. We got a purple and a purple, but of course no lap's been set yet on the board. Riera's going to put probably the first lap up we have here tonight. Penultimate corner. Nice and easy on the power. Whoa! So fast round the last corner. And Cardozo puts a 14.6, but Riera a 13.0. Corey Mackey back in the Williams. There's a yellow in Sector 2 as times fly in. Mackey is purple in Sector 1. He's been very quick Of course, the winner at Spa last round. Williams delighted to keep Mackie for another race with Walker. Oh! Not as delighted now. He's going to keep it out of the wall. Oh, what is he doing? Wow. That was a high risk strategy there. Mills is in the garage, so he must have maybe abandoned his lap and come in. So Riera, the only one of the top three right now to put a lap time in, but that all changed. Ezekiel Montero goes P2, 0.3 of a second. We are now on board with Dejan Kovacic as he goes across the line. He's a 15.9, down in 10th place right now. Rabi put himself up into 3rd. Sanabria is 4th. As we can see, Montero, he's on a cool down lap. So a lot of guys abandoning the first lap, and it doesn't surprise me. It is very difficult here to hit a good lap. These guys are flying around this circuit. At Spa, we didn't see the big, huge gaps. I think here we will see the big, huge gaps between the front and the rear of the field. Such a technical circuit. If you've got the car set up and working, you can just chomp the time away. And if you don't, you'll be suffering. So Sturgio put in a good lap. He is in P6 after his first run. These guys will go back into the pits for a second run. There are some other guys who abandoned their first run, so there's going to be kind of people on a lap all the time here, I think, through this session. Mackie's kind of lining up his outlap. Guys are going quite slow on the outlap here to keep those tires nice and cool. Here we go, Josh Mills. Lots of traffic and distractions on the right-hand side. Oh, definitely a distraction, but technically didn't get in the way. He got away with that one, Mills. Now into turn 2. Keeps it in 3rd, doesn't opt to drop down to 2nd. Through the easy kink of 3, and now let's see turn 4 for Josh Mills. Not quite as clean, but still looked really quick, but my goodness, that traffic has to get out of the way. It does just about. 6-7. That was beautifully done from Mills. Took more curb than Riera on the inside. Very, very fast there through 8-9 as well. Wow, almost flat through 11. How are these guys doing that? Absolutely wonderful to watch. Penultimate corner, here we go. Kind of a lazy corner, you can see. Mills wanted to get in the power, wants to get in the power. Car's not ready. Very fast through the last corner as well. Across the line, and Mills was purple in the middle, but he drops into P3 just behind Montero. Here is Mackie. Will he get a lap in? 4 minutes left to go. Never feels good to have to abandon your first run. Always puts extra pressure on you. But the Maxter doesn't worry about pressure. He will worry about this Ferrari in front of him, however. If he doesn't get out of the way. The Ferrari's going to start a lap too, so he's not going to get out of the way here. We are going to lose a little bit of front grip through the aero wash. Now the Ferrari, for some reason, is trying to get out of the way. A 13.3. Mackie goes into P2. Riera, purple. Another 10th of a second. Looking for the 112. Lots of distractions. A busy circuit here in qualifying. Look at the grip from Argenis. Oh, look at the grip going into the pit lane. Riera was actually up on his time, but clearly didn't like that penultimate corner. Montero is absolutely throwing his car around. His tires have got to be at 50% by the end of this lap. Wow, beautiful on the brakes though. That, oh! Good on the brakes, not so good on the throttle. But that Mercedes can stop on a dime, no doubt about that. He's going to bail. He'll get another run. It's always nice when you make a mistake right at the end of the lap. What is going on there in the pits? I'm not too sure. Harto is now going to the pits. He's in P11. So he's in my favorite position, but not really a threat here today. Mackie comes into the pits. I was going to say in the second Williams, but probably in the first Williams here tonight. I would think he's getting all the upgrades on the car. Vieira is going for a final run. He's only 0.2 of a second ahead of Mackie. Then we have Montero, Mills. Then comes the gap. 1 second total to Aaron Rabi, who's best of the rest right now. Sanabria in 6, Lalancet 7, Sturgio in 8, Cardozo 9, and Orego making both McLarens currently in the top 10. Then you have Harto, Worrell, Del Castillo, Kovacic, Senior, Higgins, and Oppenheim yet to put out a lap. I think Jeff's going to start from the back. We are missing a couple drivers tonight. We're missing both Alpines. O-double-T, no. And C-O-O, Cooper, not here. So, 0 points coming for Alpine. I feel pretty confident to say that here tonight. So we'll talk around this Budapest circuit, sorry, a little bit more as we get going here, but no better person to take us around it one more time than our Jenis Vieira. Brakes almost at the curb, very late on the brakes into turn 1. Oh, a little bit loose on the power, but still very, very quick. Distractions from the shadows going in. You got to find your braking behind. Wow, very early picking up the throttle. Ran a little bit wide, but that car turns easy. We're going to go into 8th. Then drop down to 7th. Didn't take the inside curb, but missed the outside curb. Very easy on the throttle. Here we go through the chicane. He took more curb this time. He took actually a little bit too much. He hit the orange policeman, but he gets away with it. Wow, look at the change of direction on that vehicle. Through 9. How did that happen? 11 just is easy. It's like it's not even a corner. He's going to come into some traffic just like Mackie did going into the final part of the lap. Drivers have got to be careful here to not get in Vieira's way. Tons of front end grip on that car around the second to last turn. And the final turn. Slid actually. Took a little bit too much speed. The tires are screaming. And the 12.9 is there. He does it. Vieira hits the 12.9. Here is Corey Mackie. 1/10 down on Vieira already. He's trying to hold on to second probably because Montero went purple in the middle sector. Wow! Look at how fast Montero is around the last corner. It grips like nothing. 13-1. Montero jumps back into second place. Mackie back on the second row right now with Josh Mills. But Mackie's gone purple. The Maxter misses the apex of that corner. Put it in the wall already. He's hating turn 12. But still, is it going to be fast enough? Wow, look at the speed he's trying to carry through that last corner. Those tires are going to be screaming. Red lights are on. Session's over. Mackie ends up P3. He's 1,000th of a second behind Montero. He doesn't improve. That's his, Mills has abandoned that lap, so Mackie doesn't end up improving his position. He improves his time. 1,000th of a second. I can tell you where it was. It was in turn 12. 100%. There might have even been 0.2 in turn 12. But still, P3, a good position for Corey Mackie on the grid. Lalancet is jumped into P6, so both Red Bulls are up there. Sanabria is down in 8. And I think that's going to be it, ladies and gentlemen. I don't think there's going to be anybody else on a lap here. That will be the session over, so we will take a look at the final standings. Our Jenis Vieira does get his coveted 112, the only driver in the 112s. Zico Montero a 13.1, well, a 177. Corey Mackie a 179. It says 0.02 of a second on the time, but only 1,000th of a second on the gap difference. Explain that one, I don't know. I think Corey Mackie would be protesting the 1,000th of a second. Josh Mills, P4. Solid, but a little bit off the front, guys. Aaron Rabi, Lalancet, Jacopo Cardozo, Alejandro Sanabria, Sotiris Sturgio, and Juan Orego round out the top 10 to start the Hungarian Grand Prix. P11 for Matt Harto, way off the pace. Juan Del Castillo also had a tough qualifying there, ended up in P12. Bill Worrell really needs to get back going, get that early season pace back in P13. Ricardo Senior in P14, a little bit higher up actually, out-qualified Dejan Kovacic in the Ferrari, who's way behind his teammate Sean Higgins in P16, I believe with a penalty from last race. And Jeff Oppenheim deciding to keep the Visa car in the garage. So welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. We kind of got straight into action here at Budapest. We were already into qualifying right after my intro. I haven't even had a chance to talk about Janos's graphic that he did sneakily put up in qualifying. I saw it. And I saw that Janos Magasrevi, I believe, had pole in 2022 at Sim Racing Hub at Budapest. He's always going to get that graphic in there, and I don't blame him. Getting pole position. To be honest, I mean, winning at Sim Racing Hub is nearly impossible. Getting pole position at Sim Racing Hub, I feel like, is 6 times harder. Because you have to genuinely be the fastest driver out there, nail the lap perfectly. And a lot of these drivers today will have actually hit one of their best laps that they could have done. And still, way off of a 1:12.9 that Argenis Riera can do in that Aston Martin. So we're really going to see, can Riera make a charge for the second half of the season here and catch up to Josh Mills in the championship? We'll pull up the standings. I believe the gap is about 35 points after Spa. As Riera doing what Riera does, practice starts on the racing line usually in the warm-up. Very interesting how many times he likes to practice the starts. So here we go. Janos says, heard me loud and clear. Here is the championship standings. Josh Mills only scored 8 points in round 10, but he does hold a 31 point gap. I have to be good at math because they don't put the gaps on the standings chart here, but I'm pretty good to know that I believe that's 31 points. Ezekiel Montero, 112. He did take a little bit of a chunk into the gap at Spa. Walcott easily in 4th place, even though he won't race here today. But of course, Glenn Cooper also not racing here today in P5. Lalancet, a big opportunity for him tonight to jump up over Cooper and catch Walcott. Wanarego in 7th. Sanabria, Harto, Cardozo. There's a gaggle of good drivers now, kind of in this range. 44 points, 43 points, 43 points. So really no idea who's going to finish in P5. That seems to be the best championship fight other than the championship winner, of course. So we'll keep an eye on that coveted P5 position. Oracle Red Bull Racing are in 1st and comfortably in 1st. Aston Martin only got 10 points last race. So they fell back a little bit. They're actually in danger of losing 2nd place to Mercedes and Williams because, of course, it says Walcott and Harto. But I think Corey Mackey needs to have a little bit of an asterisk in there because he is scoring some points for the team. Walcott and Harto will take the credit, though. I'm sure they'll be happy with that. Alpine, Zero coming here today. They, of course, have a huge gap behind them, but they won't be making any noise on the drivers in front. McLaren really need to get back going again. They had a great start to the season. The Stake Tick team Kick Sauber. Higgins has got a penalty. Fisher isn't here either, so we're missing Swish Fish, OTTO, and Glenn Cooper here tonight. And there's no replacements, which is actually a little bit abnormal for Sim Racing Hub. Usually, no problem whatsoever in getting 20 drivers. My guess the reason would be it is summertime, ladies and gentlemen. There's no summer break at Sim Racing Hub, so drivers, unfortunately, do have families, wives, cats, kittens, all these things that they have to take care of, and they want to go to the beach sometimes, so this is what happens. One man who doesn't believe in beaches, though, was Corey Mackey. He doesn't believe in the beaches, okay? What he believes in is winning. And he managed to win last race at Spa. If you didn't see it, go back and watch it. What are you doing here? You can't watch this one without the one before. It's like starting Game of Thrones on the last episode. Why would you do that? You have to watch it each and every round. 1 minute 25 to go here at Budapest. And a couple of things we need to talk about. Tires. These tires are not very good. Okay, no way to say it. It is the wrong compounds for this circuit. It's going to be good racing. Drivers are going to be doing 3, 4, 5 stops here tonight. 2 stop is impossible. And really, are you going to see guys on the hards, on the softs? There's going to be all sorts of shenanigans going on with the tires. They're just very soft. And because Hungary, I believe the track is only 4 kilometers, 4.3 kilometers long, while Spa was 7 kilometers long, then you have to do 70 laps around this track. So you're going to be with me for a little bit of time here tonight. And so is my friend Jeff. There he is on the left. Back in the pit lane here today. Didn't enjoy turn 1 at Spa. So get settled, because we're going to have an event-filled race. I think one of quite high attrition. We've lost 3 drivers before we've even started here, which of course is a bit abnormal. But it's so difficult to focus at the speeds these drivers are pushing these cars around this circuit. High downforce on the vehicles for once. And to not put a foot on the curb and into the wall is very difficult. And also, we need to talk about the elephant in the room. Overtaking. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen here tonight. The front straight into turn 1 and, of course, out of turn 1. Those are your 2 opportunities that you have without a mistake. And that's it. Don't try anywhere else. It's not going to happen. You're just going to cause accidents. So we'll see if there is any crazy passes or anything like that here tonight into maybe the chicane, but I very much doubt it. I think that it's probably going to be wait for the straight and maybe out of turn 1 if you can't get there. Patience is going to be very important, especially in the mid-pack, in the midfield. There's going to be a train of cars, and we'll see who can be the most patient and making their way through the traffic. As we get a look at the slip and slides, we might actually get a vision of OTTO going down the red slide. Oh, he's crashed! Well, no great surprise there. We are ready for the warm-up lap. 1 red light is on. Well, that's going to signify, of course, the start of the formation lap when that light goes away. And Argenis Riera will lead 17 cars around the Budapest circuit. Riera on pole, number 43, Montero P2. We've seen that front row quite a few times, but they do have a challenge from the second row here tonight of Mackie and Mills. Rabi bested the rest, currently in P5. Great qualifying from him. Jean-Pierre Lalancet, not Juan-Pierre Lalancet, in P6. Jacobo Cardozo in P7. Sotiris Sturgio is in P9. Juan Orrego in P10. Pato starts P11, outside of the points. Juan Del Castillo in 12. Bill Worrell in unlucky number 13, alongside Ricardo Sr. in the Aston Martin 14. Dejan Kovacic really needs to get going here in 15th. And we see there Sean Higgins and Jeff Oppenheim is ahead of Higgins because Higgins had the penalty from Spa. So he drops down 1 position as Jeff did not leave the pit lane. So drivers, will they warm up the tires here? Because if drivers are starting on the softs or the mediums, they're not going to go very long. We could see pit stops, I mean, certainly before lap 10 here tonight. So we will have to see exactly how long these tires are going to go. There is a little bit of weaving going on, but certainly not as much as we've seen in the past. Drivers, of course, will still rev up the rear tires. Rear's not so much of an issue here. It is the front left and front right quite evenly wearing around these fast turns. So I think the front row here has to be very careful because row 2 is going to be very aggressive and determined and fast going into turn 1. Mills and Mackie. Mills, of course, the championship leader, has the most to lose. But his rival for the championship is in P1, Riera. So he has to be all in. If he sees an opportunity, he has to take it. Again, overtaking here, not a good plan, not a good idea. We see Higgins lining up. Janos on the drone at Budapest. We get ready for round 11 of the Sim Racing Hub World Championship from Hungary. 1, 2, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're racing at Sim Racing Hub. And you see Montero immediately trying to hold off Mackie. Riera's easily in P1. Mills has not managed to make any ground. Will there be any carnage in the midfield? Mackie trying to go around the outside and Montero. Mills is fighting off Rabi. Montero and Mackie. This is going to go into turn 2 for sure. They are still side by side. And it was Montero that won out. Mills is now coming back at Mackie. So they actually get through just as is expected. We've got Harto here back in the midfield. It looks like most drivers made it through a clean start once again at Sim Racing Hub. Great racing from all of these guys. The minis did not go well. But this is where we have the mini races on a Tuesday night as a practice for the real thing. Riera already easily in comfort mode. This is where our Genis Riera is nigh impossible to beat. He's got clear air. He's got a car that is designed to run in clear air. He's used to being in P1. And you've got Montero behind, who's very, very quick. But we don't want Montero overdriving that car early on and maybe ending up in the wall. So we will come out of the first lap with the drivers, the top 5, the top 6 actually, almost identical to what they were. In fact, actually, top 8 are the same. Del Castillo is the biggest mover. Del Castillo is up 3 spots into P9. Del Castillo is down 1 spot. He's dropped down into P10. Sergio got him back, but still, he's up 2 spots in general. So we'll take a look at the tires. We have Aaron Rabi on the softs. Wow, very surprised to see some drivers with the softs. Clearly feeling like they can hang on to the tire wear here. So we'll wait for the tire graphics. I'm seeing there was softs on the Mercedes there. Looks like a lot of drivers actually on the softs. Bit surprising. That's Harto attacking Arego. Harto's down 1 spot. He ran wide there. There will be a little bit of aero wash for sure for these drivers in the mid-pack. And of course, we are in a DRS train. We are already 2 laps done. Only 68 to go here tonight. Again, 70 laps. I don't know what we're thinking of having 70 laps around Hungary. But you see Montero attacking Riera. We're going to take a look at the start replay. On board with the biggest mover. And Shaker. The car's shaking. Gets a good launch, but nothing special. He just happens to be on the inside. You can see he's on the inside. That'll be of Harto. Harto then dies behind him. We overtake Arego. And we're up to P10. You can see how calm the start was from everybody, really. No incidents. This is fantastic. Very, very rare to see no incidents at the start. And of course, very rare to see no incidents at the start at Budapest. So Kovacic is down in last. He has had something go horribly wrong. I think, honestly, that this has not been his night so far at all. Higgins is up 3 spots, looking for a recovery from Spa, which we just won't talk about what happened at Spa. He was having the drive of his life before the drive almost took his life. So you can see the DRS train in the middle. Harto is stuck behind the McLaren of Arego. Can't get a good enough run. And of course, you can see the letterbox open from the McLaren in front, who is attacking Del Castillo in P10. And there it goes, Arego up the inside. Harto trying to look for any opportunity around the outside, but Arego couldn't get that pass done. Juan looks to be much quicker than Del Castillo. Is Castillo maybe on a harder set of tires? We'll have to wait and take a look for the tires graphic when we get it. So this we are looking at Rabi. Rabi is for sure on the softs, just like most of the front drivers appear to be on the softs. Mills is softs, Riera is softs, Montero is softs. I just didn't see Mackie, but I think it was softs. So Riera will lead Montero another time around. Got nervous there. I thought he was going to pit. Oh, Mackey's on the mediums. There's the tires, ladies and gentlemen. So no one started on the hards. Cardozo, the last man on the softs. So very interesting. Mackey did start on the mediums. So everybody else started on the softs. And that would explain why Mackey has dropped back off of Montero. Ah, I understand now. So Mills is going to be trapped behind Mackey. This is a disaster. Well, it's not a disaster, but it's not going great for Josh Mills currently. As we can see, that was Harto looking again up the inside of Arego. We are Higgins. Higgins is caught up to this train. 11, 12, 13. Look how close the Williams and McLaren are. Rabi is coming under pressure a little bit from Lalancette. Now, of course, Rabi will have dropped off of Mills. Not by much, though. You know what? I have to say, Aaron Rabi is keeping up with the pack here. Certainly with Corey Mackey on those mediums. So Rabi won't have DRS, which will make him a little bit vulnerable for an overtake from Lalancette. Can Lalancette find a way around? I'm going to answer it for you. Probably not, because it's Budapest. It's Monaco without walls, although there are some walls. You can see that. There's just a few runoff areas, really. Arego still attacking Del Castillo. So can he make a pass on Del Castillo? As we enter lap 6 here in Hungary. Again, the top 9 as is. No great surprise. The only really 2 movers and shakers was Del Castillo and Higgins, causing a little bit of a ripple effect with a few drivers down one spot. But everybody's still running. Not really any contact. A nice easy race for Janos and the stewards here tonight so far. It will get interesting, trust me. Bear with me here. You might think, well, this is just going to be a parade, but the one thing that is going to make it interesting is the tires. Because drivers are going to have to start thinking about pitting. So we'll see exactly who's going to be the first in. Here is that train that Del Castillo is doing a fantastic job of holding off. He got the position. He's on the mediums. And you can see he's holding on to that P10 position with all of his might. Significant lift there around turn 11. No great surprise with heavy fuel and wearing medium tires. These mediums get extremely hot, just like the softs do. And when the tires get hot, it can affect braking, it can affect turning. So each driver going back around again. When will the pit window begin to open? Probably in a couple of laps. It's still quite early. Here we go. We're going for a pass. Arego, finally, on Del Castillo. He can't get it done. One late on the brakes, and you now Worrell is over Harto. So Worrell's attacking Harto. We've got Del Castillo holding Arego off here. This is a great little train, and Del Castillo is making that car very, very wide in general. Back at the front, 0.8 of a second, 0.9 of a second is the gap. We don't really need to watch it too much because, again, nowhere to overtake other than the front straight. So really just a kind of a quick check on the front straight. Janos will take a quick look out of his window and make sure that they're not ready for an overtake, and I'm sure he'll hook us up. We don't miss much action here at Sim Racing Hub. There just isn't much action right now, and it's because everybody's in manage mode. Manage the tires. Boost, not so much of a problem here. You can pretty much use it whenever you want. But the problem with that is, of course, that it causes... This is Harto. Oh, he it looked like he was going to pit. He changed his mind. Now, Worrell... Oh, we got to look at the battle in front of this, too. Because Arego's going to have another go at Del Castillo. No, he's not. Worrell now is clearly getting held up by Harto. So that Williams is struggling. Back up through the field, we have the other Williams. This is Mackey. He has caught Montero. And that would make sense because the soft tires are toast. The 2 front drivers put the softs on, got a gap, but look at Montero. He's swirling around like crazy. Now comes the advantage to the mediums. Nowhere to overtake. When will those soft tires begin to pit? We already saw Hato trying to fake out the pits, I guess. Mills has not been able to catch up because he's on the softs. Mackie now, those tires are going to be toast. Mackie might be able to make an overtake here. Much more grip. I think Montero is going to be under pressure. We're going to see an overtake at Budapest. And it's the Maxter that's going to get it done first. Corey Mackie moves into second place by sheer tire strategy alone. The soft tires are not doing well. And we have in the pits, that is Mills already pitting. Wow, that is very early. Rabi pitting. Hato pitting. That was a battle on track. We're seeing all of a sudden everything's happening here. This is Hato in the pits. So drivers are getting rid of those tires already. Higgins is in the pits. But the Mills is the big one to talk about. And Mills put the hard tires on. Wow, so Mills pitting very early. He's going to come out in traffic, surely though. Surely Josh Mills is going to come behind this train. This might not work out great for Mills. He's going to get an undercut, which is very powerful so long as he doesn't come in traffic. We're going to see Mackie attacking the lead. Riera doesn't like to give up the lead, so will Riera just pit? He does not like to be overtaken. That is for sure. My guess is he'll probably dive into the pits. He does not, so can Mackie take the lead of the Hungarian Grand Prix? We are looking at Cardozo and Sanabria. But we need to be looking at the race leader here. This is Mills. He is stuck in traffic. Mackie's still behind Riera. He didn't get the pass done. Look at Mills. He's so much more grip. Obviously, he'll make the pass around the straight. But will he do it around the outside? Oh, he didn't even want to wait for the straight. Now we'll have the DRS. Wow, Mills certainly on the ball here, wanted to get the job done. So we have more guys pitting. We have Cardozo in the pits. Sergio in the pits. Lalan Set there coming out of the pits. This is Mills now attacking Kovacic, who stayed out. So that's why he's up to P8. But Mills like taking candy from a ghoulie. We have a penalty for Sergio. That'll be speeding in the pit lane. Disaster for Ferrari. They were looking great at the start of this race. And that is a painful one. To have to do a drive-through penalty here at Hungary. It's going to put you in traffic. Oppenheimer's in the pits. He wants to get rid of those tires. So Riera's still going around on the softs. Montero's still going around on the softs. So even when all these drivers are bailing on the mediums, Riera and Montero are keeping the softs. We have a new race leader, and this is why. Now, finally, Riera bails on those tires. But a very impressive first stint from Riera to make those softs go 10 laps. He's going to put the mediums on now. Go for a little bit of a harder compound. I don't know if we'll see the softs again, but he did quite well on them, to be honest. Corey Mackie now the race leader for Williams. He was supposed to race in the Alpine, and he defied them. He liked the Williams. He's been testing the Williams all week. Walcott made it very clear he wasn't going to rake this race. He is on vacation on the beach. And Williams will be perfectly fine with that. So Sanabria is up to 3. Del Castillo is up to 4 because he's making that car really wide. Arrigo still right behind him. Worrell's still right behind him. Hato left that fight. He came in and pitted to get, I guess, clear air. Here is Mills, and this is the problem with Mills' strategy. He needs to be patient here. He's on the hards, but you can see he's right behind the Visa card. There's nowhere to pass. You can see the aero wash, and he's going to get overtaken! He's going to get overtaken. Here is Riera. This is the fight for technically the lead of the race. Here, Riera does overtake Mills on those mediums. Wow. I completely forgot that Riera is going to come out near Mills. So Mills actually got a very, very big undercut. Very, very big. Because he overtook Riera. I missed that completely. So that means that Josh Mills could be the net leader of the race. Now Riera probably is the net leader after that overtake. So Mackie staying out is dangerous. Montero's pitted. He did come out behind Mills. Look at this fight. Senior's in the pitch. pits. Kovacic is in the pits. This is Riera. No way around there. He's, of course, behind Bill Worrell, who himself is still trying to get past Del Castillo. Worrell's going to now get out of the way. Maybe, maybe not. Riera's going to have to go around the outside. Worrell is not going to get out of the way there for Riera. He's going to try and hold it. Riera's pushing his way around. And he's pushed Worrell off the circuit. And he got away with it because Mills didn't overtake him. But wow, that is aggressive from Riera. This is what I was talking about with patience, ladies and gentlemen. Will this come back to bite Riera? It worked out for him that time. Now Del Castillo. There's no one wider than that. And look at Mills on those hards. Well, he's trying to go past Riera on the outside. They're both trapped by Del Castillo. They're begging for him to go in the pits, but he won't. Mills is looking at the inside. Everyone's going to get DRS. Of course, Riera now will get past Del Castillo. Mills needs to do the same thing. Del Castillo going defensive. His strategy here tonight is clearly track position. Riera is going to go past Del Castillo. This is a fight for position, technically. Mills will now try to get the run on Del Castillo, which he does. I think Juan is going to let that one go. Finally, he will. Wow, so the undercut is powerful, but you do come out in traffic, which is a disaster. If you can get clear air, it works out much better. Corey Mackey, meanwhile, has just been lapping around on the mediums. When will he pit? He's going to come out behind these guys because the tire wear is just too great. So even though they had that traffic, it didn't hold them back enough because Riera kind of just nerfed. Bill out the way. Montero, you don't want to be launching a pass into there. Del Castillo, he's going to be in a lot of action here today. If you want some sponsorship, put it on the Haas car. Will Montero do a pass? Here he will do into turn 12. Great pass from Montero. You don't see many overtakes into turn 12. Great job from him. He clears Del Castillo relatively quickly. He's now going to try and catch up to the fight that he's fighting, obviously, which is this Riera-Mills fight, but they're back in traffic again. Now they're behind Juan Arrego. Arrego won't fight it, however. He will see that it is Riera coming behind him and Mills, and Arrego is fighting for those point positions here today. Del Castillo has pitted, finally, to no one's help, because everybody has finally made their way around him, and he pitted. Now, Lalancet, what happened to Lalancet? Lalancet's down in 17th place here. Did Lalancet have an incident? He must have done. We know why Sergio is down in 16th, because he had the drive-thru, but Lalancet is behind Sergio even more. Let's take a look at that gap. If he's a long way behind Sergio, yes, he's a full lap down, so Lalancet must have had a huge incident somewhere. Maybe he had a contact with a wall. That's a disaster for JPL, because this was his opportunity to take points away from Cooper, from Walcott. He's not getting it done. Higgins coming through the field. This is not a race that you want to come through the field. Actually, I think that's Del Castillo overtaking Higgins because he's going to have the pits. He's going to just come out of the pits, sorry. And Mackie is still leading. We now have Arrego, one of the later guys to pit. He's had a great first stint. Juan Arrego. He's on the mediums. He's made those mediums go almost 15 laps. That's wonderful driving from Juan Arrego, just like Mackie. Of course, we expect wonderful driving from Mackie. We expect it from Arrego too, but nice to point it out when it happens. So we got Mills on the hards, we got Harto on the hards, Lalancet on the hards at the back of the field. Arrego's going to come out on the mediums. Most drivers choosing the mediums. Higgins, the lone wolf. Oh, on the softs. Maybe he didn't receive the word. Those softs, not the best. Mackie still leads, but you can see Riera is already almost 11 seconds, the gap. So Mackie's gonna, maybe he's attempting a 3-stop here today. Well, maybe be my guess. He'd have to put the hards on to do that, though. I would think. Riera, it feels like a 4-stop for most of these guys. Mills, 4-stop probably, maybe with mostly hards. This is Harto and Sanabria. So Sanabria's caught up Harto. Harto's actually jumped all the way up to P7 because he pitted so early. He got the clear air. It's an interesting strategy. Him and Mills put it, I think, at the same time. So, and they took the same tires as well. There is Corey Mackey into the pits on the mediums. Mackey will come out. He will run mediums. We believe. Wait for the graphic to confirm that. So he's going to be a long way back now. He's actually behind Rabi, and he's behind Rabi. Wow, he's behind Cardozo as well. Mackey stayed out. We're going to call it. We stayed out too long, ladies and gentlemen. He's now going to have to try and pass on the track. This is Sanabria and Hato. Sanabria's on new mediums. Hato's on reasonably older hards. So this should be a pass for Sanabria. Man, Corey Mackey. He's going to have a lot of hard work to do to get himself back into this fight. Now today, Sanabria. He went skiing on the curb and he's going to drop way back now off the back of the Williams. Kovacic up to P11. He's behind Bill Worrell. Has Dejan pitted yet? I feel like he might have not even pitted yet. He might be going super long. Corey Mackey on Cardozo needs to make this pass happen. We know how wide those Haas cars can be, but Cardozo not fighting it as hard as his teammate. Cardozo's having a fantastic drive in P6. He's fighting Corey Mackey on the circuit here. Haas, I think, they're going to get double points here today. I got a good feeling about it. Higgins is in the pits. He put the softs on. Is this the second time that Higgins has pitted? Is he the first person to pit twice? Holy cow. Don't put the red tires on, Sean. There we go. Listen to me. Red tires not the way to go right now. Maybe when the fuel wears down a little bit, guys will put them back on. This is the fight for my favorite position, P11. Well, it's actually the fight for P10 with Bill Worrell. Again, Worrell still in the points, even though he got nerfed out of the way by Riera. Yeah. Bill doesn't have to, he didn't have to give the position up. He could have opted to. I think Riera, we know what he felt about it. Wasn't a blue flag situation, though. He didn't have to. So Mills is on the hards. Harto's on the hards. Everybody else is on the mediums, except Lalanset, who, of course, is on a recovery drive. Can JPL get any points here today? I don't know if the attrition's going to be high enough to get any points for him. He's already a lap down. I don't see it. I think we're going to get a 0 here, and that's a disaster because Walcott gets a 0, Cooper gets a 0. JPL can't make any ground on them, and he's going to start falling into that fight behind in the championship standings. So Montero is 1 second behind Mills. He's caught up Mills. He got, Rabi. Look at Aaron Rabi. Is that Rabi? No, I was going to say, that's a Rego. I thought that was Rabi on the back of Montero. I was about to give Aaron Rabi driver of the day on lap 18. It's a Rego. This is Sanabria caught back up to Hato after his little offie on the curb, and Rego is back. But what's interesting here is that Hato was behind these guys in the first stint, and he's jumped over and took track position away, and now he's forcing them to overtake him on circuit. This is Corey Mackey on Rabi. We will see. This should be quite easy for Mackey, but leave Aaron Rabi alone because that guy is having a stellar drive here today. Drops down to P5, but he's fighting the front guys. He's not P5 and trying to hold on to P5. He's P5 looking for P4. Just a great drive so far for Aaron Rabi. Commentator's curse there. That will be the tires getting too hot. That's exactly what happens when those front tires get too hot. Maybe too much heat radiates from them into the brakes and the car won't stop. Some drivers actually will run higher brake duct here. The brakes, it is quite a hard track on brakes. This Sim Racing Hub mod this year, Sanabria got by Hato. We missed it. Sanabria got by Hato, so he is free. We're going to look at the replay, I guess, here. I'm sure it was just a pass on the straight. But any pass we're going to show here tonight because it's Budapest, ladies and gentlemen. So if we can show an overtake, we're going to show an overtake. And here we go. And actually, it's interesting because Arego was closer to Sanabria than probably Sanabria was to Hato. But the straight line speed there of Sanabria is very, very strong. And you can see he actually got out of, it was out of turn 1. It's going to line him up around the outside. And he will take that position from the Williams. So now Arego will try and attack Hato. Rabi's in the pits. Okay, Rabi is going for a very aggressive strategy here. He wants to get the undercut. That's his second stop. And it's only lap 20. Is Rabi doing a 5-stop, ladies and gentlemen? It's possible. Juan Arego gets by Hato. The McLaren is free. He will now pull away surely. Mediums versus old hards. So we've already seen drivers starting to pit twice. Mills was one of the first guys to pit the first time around, but he took the hard tires. So as a result, he's trying to get himself back level in line. It's a brilliant strategy. I didn't think it was going to work because he came out in traffic. But the undercut's so powerful. It was brilliant. Lalenset's got by Sergio in P15, so he's jumped up. All 17 drivers still running, 50 laps remaining. Only 50 laps remaining, ladies and gentlemen. Just a short time here today. We were talking about brakes. This year's mod at Sim Racing Hub, very, very easy on brakes, so we won't see a lot of brake failures. Drivers often able to just use the minimum ducks. We have a yellow, we have Cardozo in the pits, and a yellow, and we have a DNF. We have Sean Higgins is DNF'd. So Higgins is the first retirement in Budapest. Honestly, it was going to be tough for him anyway, based on the tire wear of getting any points, but we have lost the car. We lost Sean Higgins. Both Kick Saubers joined the Alpines in getting 0 points here today. Arego now is going to be attacking Sanabria. Great fight in the midfield. Like, honestly, Rabi's kind of separated himself. He's in a beautiful gap there between them. But by pitting earlier, if he has to do an extra stop, he's going to be at the back of the train. But if he doesn't, then... But he took the mediums. I think Rabi's going to have to stop one extra time compared to these guys. So that might not work out, actually, for Aaron Rabi. There is Sean Higgins. We saw him falling down the order in the pits. We'll see if Janos is going to look for the replay on what happened here. I believe he will. There is Higgins, and he was attached to the wall. So I'm sure Sean... Whoa! We're getting dizzy here. Yeah, Sean calling it a day. Those tires are toast. Not the circuit to have to take a penalty and start the back from. Higgins will want to go back to lap 10, last round, I think, where life was going so much better. He will go again at the next round. We have somebody in the pits. This is Hato in the pits. So he pitted at the same time as Mills, took the same tires. But Hato's going to bail on them now. Mills is going to keep going. So Mills certainly seems to be catching up tire wear a little bit more. So Hato is going to try the strategy again, I guess, of the undercut. We see how powerful it is. It's down in 13th. Juan Arego still holding off. Oh no, he got by Sanabria. Arego got by Sanabria. We didn't see it. But Arego got past Sanabria. So that's great for him because it looks like Sanabria's tires now have fallen off the cliff. This is Cardozo attacking Kovacic. Honestly, I have no idea who's going to finish 5th here today. It's going to be a hell of a fight because obviously advantage McLaren with Rabi, but he has to stop again in extra time possibly. Arego, the other McLaren, has it right now, but he hasn't stopped. So, you know, I think McLaren have got the best chance. They've kind of split strategies on the drivers. You can see way more grip there for Cardozo. Is Kovacic pitting? Yes, he is. So he got out of the way. Very smartly done there. So Riera still leads the Hungarian Grand Prix, but he leads it over Josh Mills. We see Rabi out of the pits on fresh tires. He needs to get this pass done. He's got to do it right now, otherwise he's going to wait a whole lap. Kovacic, this is him in the pits. He did not get it done. That's a disaster for Rabi, because now you might as well just save the boost and save everything, because you ain't getting past that car until maybe turn 12 at best. He's going to keep pushing. He's going to hope that Bill makes a mistake. Bill's been pushed a few times here today. He's holding on to P7. Not going to move out of the way. I don't blame him one bit. So Riera over Mills. Mackie just overtook Montero. Mackie overtook Montero. Oh, they're in the pits. Montero and Riera are both in the pits. Man, do they share strategies? They pit exactly the same time every time. What is interesting, though, is that Mills isn't pitting. So although he pitted so early in the first stint, he opted to take the hards. Now he's not pitting. We know Mackie's not going to pit because he's going to go for a 3-stop or something. He's catching up Mills. He's got himself back into the fight. It's so difficult to read this race because the undercut and the fresh tires are so powerful. And the wear is so drastic that any one decision that you make between whether you come out in traffic or you take the wrong tire or you pit at the wrong time, it's going to be a strategy race. Any one of those 4 guys can win the race. It's going to be who nails the strategy the best. Same thing for P5. All these drivers, Arrego, Sanabria, Rabi, Worrell, Cardozo, Del Castillo. Any of those drivers, I think, can finish in 5th here today, and it's all about what tires they take and what strategy they do. So this is for the technical lead of the race. We think we maybe don't know. We think Riera might have the lead. We're not too sure. Here is Corey Mackie on Josh Mills. He will not make a pass this time around. Mills' hards are done. But he might be able to hold Mackie off for another lap here. He will. Mackie's going to try and search around the outside, but this is where the problem comes. No places to overtake, especially not a driver as fast as Josh Mills, not without a mistake. This is Cardozo attacking Worrell. So you'll see a lot of this here today. You got Worrell falling down the order right now. Looks like his race is ruined. And then he'll put new tires on and he'll be climbing through the field. So you see Mackie right behind Mills. We've got Sanabria in the pits. I'm not going to be able to keep a track on that midfield fight. And and Kovacic has now put up the fastest lap. So that should show you how powerful the new tires are. Dejan came into the pits, put up the fastest lap. And what do you get as a reward for putting up the fastest lap? A whole bunch of traffic. He's now caught up Sanabria and Senior. This is Mackie on Mills. One more time. Mills trying to get a good launch off that corner. He did. Does Mackie have the straight line speed to get past Josh Mills? Mackie probably was hoping for clean air. He's going to have to take a look here. Up the inside. He won't get it done. And he won't. Oh, I don't think he'll get it done again into turn 2. Josh Mills holding off Corey Mackie. Now, this is great for his fight versus Mackie. This puts him as a huge advantage versus Mackie. But it really is not helping his fight. That is Jeff off onto the side. It's not helping against this guy. Because Riera, he would love this fight to continue. Riera's got the fresh tires. He's going to have advantage over Mills and Mackie right now. When will Mills pit? I think Mills will pit before Mackie because we know Mackie went like 15 or 16 on the medium's first stint. So he's going to go another 15 or 16. He's got another 5 laps or so. Mills has run wide, but he gets away with it. So Jeff did park it. The Oppenheimer, the second retirement of the race. Will Mackie now take his opportunity around the outside? Josh Mills might want to dive into the pits, so Mackie has to be careful. He does not. Mackie getting frustrated here. Again, he's no closer than he was last time. He's going to have to do a launch into turn 1. He cannot get the launch out of 2. Mackie's going to have to go for it right here. He can't get it done. JPL back into the pits. Montero, order is restored as he puts in the fastest lap of the race. Takes and breaks Dejan Kovacic's heart. Man, this has been a disaster for Corey Mackey. I think too much wing. He just hasn't worked out. When the car is obviously with clear air, this is why we said about Riera. Riera's had clear air a lot of the race. The only time he didn't was when he kind of nerfed Worrell out of the way. Speaking of Worrell, he's in the pits. Mackey has come out into this traffic, and the problem with those hard tires, they're not the best, but they generally hang on quite well. So Mills not really struggling as much as you would hope he would be if you were Corey Mackey. Very interesting that this is where Mackey is much quicker around this part of the track. He needs Mills to pit. Mills finally relieves Corey Mackey, but job done there for Josh Mills. Very interesting. What will he do now? 28 laps left. Will he stop 2 more times? That would be a 4-stopper. Anything other than the hards, I think, guarantees a 4-stopper here. The hard tires, though, however, he did take. I think we're going 3-stop. We're going 3-stop with a very aggressive early stop. That's impressive. That feels like a winning strategy if you can pull it off. Huge gamble for Mills. He came out in traffic, didn't know if it would work. It did. Now Montero has got the softs on. That would explain the fastest lap of the race. Why did Montero take the softs? Hum-diddy-hum. Questions, answers on a postcard, please. Email them to SimRacingHub. I know you can't email a postcard. Well aware of that. Alright. Arego somehow is in P4. This is because of the pits. We got a Ferrari moving out of the way. That will be a blue flag situation. He's got Mills all over the back of him. So Mills, again, now Mills is on the hards, but he's on new hards. He's miles behind Riera, however. Oh! Okay, that actually, you know what? Mills will be delighted. Absolutely delighted with that. So let that McLaren go into the pits and out the way. And Mills now has clear air because the only driver in front of him is his teammate. And I don't foresee any situation happening there. Arego is in the pits. We'll try our best to keep a track here and a memory of when these guys are pitting. So Arego's going to pit now. He's going to put medium, so he's going to stop 2 more times, I think. So I think McLaren are going 4-stop. I think Mills is... Mills I think is trying a 3-stop. I think Mackey's trying a 3-stop too, but I think it's working better for Mills because the stint going long versus going short was the way to go. I don't have a clue what Montero is doing. Riera, I think, a conventional 4, maybe? Maybe he puts the hards on and then tries to stretch a 4 into a 3? Not too sure. The Riera Montero one is interesting. They really, really like the softer tires. Montero can't believe he put the softs on again. I really can't. Of course he's going to be quick. He's going to be all over the back here of Riera. Okay, Riera put the hards on. I missed that. I missed it. Riera put the hards on. So we are, I think, changing our attempt maybe to a 3-stop. But he pitted quite a lot before Mills. Is that going to work? You see the 2025 podium. Riera, Montero, and Mills. Shocker. If Mackey was the pit right now, it would be Riera, Montero, and Mills. So, some things don't change. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Hato is ahead of Sanabria. Sanabria once again now, because of the pit stops, he's come out and he's come out behind Hato. So he keeps overtaking Hato. And then Hato dives into the pits and says, you're going to have to do it again. Sanabria almost put it in the wall last time too. So maybe a fight worth fighting. We have Bill Worrell. Now, this is what I said. Worrell was just looking like a duck, like he couldn't get around a corner. Comes in, gets some fresh tires, Now he's all over the back of Kovacic, who a couple laps ago put up the fastest lap of the race. This is Hungary, ladies and gentlemen, when you have the softest compounds available. Absolute chaos. And we love it. We're here for it, because otherwise it would just be a procession. What are we looking at? Don't make me nervous. Janos getting nervous. So Riera, P2, but we still think he's leading. I don't see it working for Corey Mackey. He's committed to it. Number 0 in the Williams, but I don't see it winning the race here today for Corey Mackey. It's difficult. He's going longer than everybody always, and if they do manage to do a 3-stop, then he's doing the same amount of stops, so it's just not going to work. Possibly too much wear on that car too. This is still Sanabria behind Harto. He will be able to tell you everything about that Williams diffuser by the end of this race. Taking a lot of curb too. That'll be the aero wash. Not fun being right behind a driver here, especially around this complex. Difficult to see, especially if you use cockpit view. Difficult to see the apexes. Difficult to pick your braking points. This is where you might see drivers just all of a sudden, you know, missing an opportunity and ramming a car in front on the brakes by accident because they just missed the braking point. So Corey Mackey, when will he come into the pits? It's got to be soon, you would think. And that means he's going to have to stop one more time. So Mackey's doing a 3-stop. I told you, 2-stop is physically impossible. So he's stopping the same amount of times. Of course, they have to pass Corey Mackey on the track right now. He's going to stop 2 more times, though, and I'm not convinced Riera does. I'm really not convinced that Riera does. He might have to. Montero does. So Montero-Mackey, I think, is an interesting fight here today. Is it Mills-Riera? Is that the fight? Did Mills get it right? He's so far behind, though. He's 9 seconds behind Riera. Is it just Riera? Are we overthinking this? Is this just an Argenis Riera domination that is just being hidden in the strategies? He will want to pass Mackey. And we know that Riera's not going to wait. We know Mackey's not super fast on the straight. So I think Riera should be able to make a pass here. Mackey's going to make him do it the hard way. Around the outside. And it was easy. Very, very easy. Mackey had no defense. That car has no straight line speed whatsoever. So Corey Mackey, very, very, very quick when he's on his own, but he's struggling in the battles. The last 5 winners. Take a look at 2022, ladies and gentlemen. Janos was on fire in 2022. Of course, to remind anybody that's new to Sim Racing Hub, Janos Magistrefi is the lead commissioner and on the cameras here for the broadcast, putting this fantastic broadcast together that I have the pleasure to commentate on. This is Cardozo overtaking Harto. But Janos Magistrefi is also very, very, very quick. And usually, I think 3rd place was where he always used to finish, which is very difficult to do at Sim Racing Hub. He is at home enjoying his new family and pressing the button still on the camera. So, yeah. We've got Harto falling backwards as normal on those used hards. We have Montero doing something on the softs. He's falling back. Is he falling back now? We got Mackey in the pits. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But when's Montero gonna be? Okay, we're at halfway point. So if you put a fresh set of tires on right now, I think you stop one more time, and I think you're good to go. So Mackey's going to stop one more time. You can't go 35 laps on a set of tires. You cannot do it. And he's gone mediums again, Mackey. So Mackey's going medium, medium, medium. And then what is he going to put on at the end? He's interested. Is he going to try the softs? Is he going to go... Probably go softs, I guess. At the end. But he's going to have to do a longer stint on the mediums. Which I just don't know if it's going to work. This is Rabi up the inside of Sanabria. Gets that pass done. Great job from Aaron Rabi. Sanabria will take a little look back. Oh, we got Cardozo. Oh, lurking. Cardozo looking for an opportunity on Sanabria. I'd love to tell you how old Cardozo's tires are, but I have no idea. It's just so difficult here to keep a track of the strategies. Too many pit stops, too many different compounds. Here is Montero, and this is what we predicted was going to have to happen. But he's not going to be able to do it on the soft, so Montero's going to have to go mediums now. Medium. He's going hards. I think. Is he on the hards? Yes, he is on the hards. Just when you think you know what's up. Montero is now going to go hard. You can't go 35 laps on hards. So Montero, I don't think he knows which tire he likes to be on today. He's kind of used all of them. He's used the softs. I don't think he likes the mediums. I really don't think that Montero likes the medium tires, and I think that's what the problem is here today. Lap 35 at Sim Racing Hub Round 11 from Budapest. We have Kovacic attacking Harto. And here is Argenis Riera. So all of the drivers now finally starting to pit. All confirming that they're going to have to do one more stop. So how many stops would that be for Riera? Four. I think. He comes out ahead of Corey Mackey and on fresh tyres. I think, ladies and gentlemen, that confirms to you right now. As we look at JPL, I thought that was Mills for a second. My heart was in my mouth. I think that confirms that Corey Mackey is, without an incident, not going to be in the running for the win here today. Because Riera, he's got the track position, he's got fresh tyres. I think he's got him dominated, really. We've got two more guys in the pits while we check this replay out. We have Harto and Kovacic both in the pits. So, yeah, so these drivers starting to pit round this time. There is Kovacic. He's going to come out. That's very annoying for him because he was all over the back of Harto. And then he's going to come out right behind. And this is Bill Warrell as well. So will Kovacic now be able to have a fight at Harto? He's going to take a quick look. Who's going to be faster on the colder tyres? We'll keep an eye on that fight. And this is a very long stop for Bill Warrell. Must have damage. Because it's a very long stop. He opted to fix the damage. And that's going to drop him way down. He's actually come out right in front of the leaders. He will move out of the way this time for you. Oh, and he's smoking, of course, because he spent so long in the pits. This is a distraction here. Now, Corey Mackey, I just ruled him out of the win of this race, and he did not like that. So now he's going to try and attack Riera, because he's on the mediums, Riera's on the hards. I mean, he would have to get this pass done, hold him off for the whole 30 laps, pit at the same time as him. I don't see it. Sanabria's in the pits. Is he gonna come up behind Harto again? Is that gonna be a thing? Let's see. Rabi, so currently, again, we said we think McLaren might get it right. Right now, it's looking like they do. 5 and 6 for McLaren. Rego and Rabi. Can they do it? And look at Haas. We said Haas were gonna be good. Maybe we're right. Cardozo and Castillo, 7 and 8. Harto came out in... Sanabria came out in front of Harto. He's finally released. His pace was good enough to get out in front. So Sanabria looks like he is going to be fighting the Haas. Click and subscribe to Sim Racing Hub. Go to simracinghub.com if you are interested in joining the league, putting some laps on in the league. Very friendly guys, usually on the Discord as well. Happy to help out. And as you can see, there is opportunities here. We are missing 3 drivers here tonight. We obviously have quite a lot of drivers, but there are opportunities for part-time reserve drivers as Cardozo comes out right behind Rabi. That's not what you want to see when you come out of the pits. is coming out of right behind a McLaren that's on very used tyres. Is he on used tyres or is he on new tyres? We'll have to keep an eye on this one. This, I think, is a general fight for position here between Rabi and Cardozo. Del Castillo fell down the order. Sanabria looks like he's got past Del Castillo. Oh! It's Ricardo Sr. He's facing the wrong way at the final turn. Mackie now is dropping back. We thought that might happen. He had 1 or 2 lap opportunity to overtake. Mackie now fighting for maybe P2. Meanwhile, we haven't talked about who's leading the race. Josh Mills is leading the race. Hang on. So Josh Mills is leading the race. He has to stop one more time. I think Riera has to stop one more time. Josh Mills is... Riera's going to catch him up very quickly here because he's on used tyres. So, okay, so this is the fight now. This is the true fight. Mills is going to have to go another 9, 10 laps. Probably. So, Riera's got a 10-second gap that he needs to close up on Josh Mills before the final round of pit stops come. Then it's just going to be a straight dogfight to the end. We're in for a race here, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know what Montero is doing. I'm really not sure on Zico Montero's strategy here today. He's got 4th locked up. We know that. He's probably fighting Mackie. Again, Mackie, I know what Mackie's doing. I just don't think it's going to work. So Montero's either 3rd or 4th. We have a yellow in Sector 3. And Senior, again, he's just taking a look at the views right now. Still going round, though. He's not going to park it. And why not? There's only 4 drivers that aren't going to score points here today. Kovacic, Worrell, Senior, and Sergio are the 4 right now. We said it would be a race of high attrition. It's starting to look that way. There's still 30 laps left, ladies and gentlemen. This is Cardozo and Rabi. Again, we said it was a fight for track position, and it looks like it is. It looks like they are on the same strategy to the end now. They're on the same tyre. Here is the gap. Riera's catching, but he's not catching super quick. They're both on the same compound of tyres, of course. Riera's are newer, but Mills' hards are hanging on very, very well. If Mills can keep the lead of the race for the next 10 laps and then pit, he will get the undercut. I think it's advantage Josh Mills. Wow, that would be a great result from him if he did that. If he pulled this off, it's a strategy genius. We've seen it before from Mills, though. Very, very quick driver, but he's very, very strategic in what he does. He's always thinking. Sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, sometimes we pit, we go ahead, we pit an extra time and this, and it doesn't work. And he says on the chat at the end of the race, you know, yeah, wrong strategy, didn't work. But he's always thinking and looking for opportunities. And usually, if he does something bold, it's because he generally doesn't have the pace to overtake anyway. So he just gambles. If he knows he has the pace, he does exactly what he's supposed to do, typically. So we're going down the order right now, really. This is Sergio still going round, P14. We're 2 laps down. But we've seen Senior facing the wrong way more often than not recently. So Sergio should get that place at some point. Which puts him in P13, which means he's only 1 position away from being 1 position away from my favorite position, which is 1 position away from a point. This is the battle for 9th. This is Harto attacking Del Castillo. So now Harto is on the offensive because he's got the newer tyres. So he's up to P9. And oh, this is Kovacic. He's going to try and get past Del Castillo at the same time. He goes wide and he slides off. He's in the marbles. And he slides off the track. Kovacic, he will still try to catch Del Castillo back up and have another chance. But I think that's going to release Harto from that fight. And that's what happens when you go just a little bit too wide, a little bit too bold. He needed to make the pass done because Harto had done it the turn before. Del Castillo is on used tires, still yet to pit, I guess. I think he's doing a 3-stop here today. Orego is in the pits. Oh, but... Okay, I'm going to change my tone. Orego is in the pits. And the reason why I'm going to lower my tone is because he's in no man's land. There's 28 laps to go. You're not going to go 28 laps on the tires. So I generally think that Orego here is in trouble. He's going to have to pit again. So McLaren, maybe they don't have it all figured out here today. They're going to have to overtake on a track where you can't overtake. Cardozo all over the back of Aaron Rabi. Everything falling apart now for McLaren. It is crumbling. We were in 5th and 6th, and it is under attack from Cardozo. I think Cardozo and Del Castillo have split the strategies, and I much prefer Cardozo's, I think. But again, not sure, because if he comes into the pits now, anybody that pits now for the next 5 laps, I think is going to have to pit again. So, anybody pitting now, bad. That's what I've established. If you pit right now is bad. If you can get to like 48, that's when I start to get interested in you potentially going to the end of this race. Oh, bad. Sergio is in the pits. Oh! That's Montero! Montero is off! Izzy got damage! What happened there? Zico Montero, he's now behind Corey Mackey. He was on the hards. What happened here? We're obviously looking through the replay to see what happened. Oh no! It's not a turn 4 exit curb spin into the wall, is it, for Zico Montero? No, it's not. Is it a Sean Higgins? No. Oh, it was the Sanabria. Sanabria managed to hold it. Ironically, that's where his teammate lost it. Now, luckily for Montero, he hit the wall on the side of the car, so he didn't lose the wing, which is very, very lucky for him. But he is going to pit, though. Oh, what are we doing now? We're pitting. We're going to put the softs on? What are we doing? I don't know this race anymore. I don't know what's going on. Cardozo's in the pits. No. Just when we thought that he was going to have the advantage over the McLaren, he's going to have to stop 2 more times. Well, 1 more time. Oh. So who's that advantage now? Is Orego going to manage to pull it off? Rabi, of course. I mean, he's overtaken Montero now, so Montero's going to be unbelievably quick, though. And Rabi's going to have to pit again. So Montero now is just fighting for P4, I think. Yeah, Rabi's 28 seconds behind Mackey. So Montero, this is the only action that Montero is going to have pretty much for the rest of the race, I think. He's done 1 pass already, 1 time before into 12. He was looking at it. Obviously, fresh softs versus used hards. Look at how quick. Whoa! Velo.com. We're pushing him. Look at how much grip he has. It really doesn't matter. He can just patiently wait here. There's no point in trying before. This will be easy into turn 1. Yes, it is. There he goes. So Zico Montero regains P4. So not a bad result for him, but I think his fight for the win most certainly just came to a crashing end. We've been watching the Mills-Riera gap. It's down to 4 seconds. It's exactly what we thought would happen. Mills is hanging on. Now, the reality of it is, we've seen Mills be able to hold drivers back. Mills doesn't need to pit until Riera passes him. But if he waits too long, Riera will just do the undercut. Both of these drivers are going to be playing chicken now of how long they dare go on the final stint on the hards. Whoever's the bravest and the boldest will take track position and have the lead of the race for the majority of the stint. When will they pit? Right now, 23 laps is a long time to go on the hards in the final stint. 3.7 seconds as Montero, of course, takes the fastest lap of the race. So Mills, 3 seconds now. Now Mills' tires have really dropped off. Riera's are going to be dropping off soon, though. We've got ourselves a championship fight, ladies and gentlemen. The fight for 7 points. Will the championship lead go up to 38? Will it drop all the way down to 24 points? Stick around, and we will find out. Riera can see Mills now. That's worth a couple tenths of a second, always in racing when you can see the driver. The podium last year, Riera, Montero, Mills. Mackey's going to ruin that, I think, this year. Comfortably ahead of Montero. Montero's going to be really quick. Got to keep an eye on him. Going to be really quick. And what do we have here? Sanabria. No, P8 for Alejandro Sanabria. What happened? We're seeing too many incidents for the Mercedes team. What happens to Sanabria? Oh, an electrical issue. A disconnect for Alejandro Sanabria and a DNF. Rabi's in the pits. I think he's played the strategy brilliantly. But Alejandro Sanabria is still in P10 right now, but he's going to drop outside the points. And he's going to DNF. A disaster, because he was having a great drive. It moves. Harto Worrell. Kovacic is now into the points. Kovacic has not done anything all day. Oh, we're looking at a speeding in the pit lane. Oh, comfortably. 98. That's not even close. Wow. So there is Sanabria. Oh, he's back out. He's going to give it a go. We're in P12. The dream might still be on. Maybe we'll steal a point still. It's worth a gamble. There's only 13 drivers left in the race. Sturgio DNF'd. What happened to Sturgio? We didn't see that one either. So Sturgio DNF'd. So we're down to 13 drivers left. Del Castillo, Sanabria, Senior's still going to keep going around. Why not? You might get a point here today. Here is the gap to the leaders. 7 tenths of a second now. Who will pit first? How many laps can Mills do on the hards? If he pits right now, it might be the best call that he can make. There he goes! He's going to pit right now. I love me some Josh Mills. He just times it perfectly. He knew Riera was going to about to take track position, which would have meant that Riera could have pitted next lap and held track position. So Mills is not going to let him have that opportunity. Doesn't matter how old the tires are at the end of the race. We'll deal with that in 20 laps time. For now, give me back fresh set of tires. And what will Riera do? So Montero is out behind Mills, has to stop again. Mills go to the end. Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Mills is looking really good now for the win of this race. Oh, it's just so good. It's such a good strategy. What will Riera do? He's kind of trapped. The right thing for him to do from a time perspective is to pit right now. But obviously then he's going to only have 1 lap fresher tires. He's going to have to pass Mills on circuit, which is very hard to do. I don't think he wins the race if he pits now. So how much longer would Riera stay out in order to be able to put the mediums on? We've got a great fight. Riera's in the pits. Riera, he got played by Mills, sorry. He's in the pits. We know the undercut will give Josh Mills the lead of the race. There goes Josh Mills. It's not by that much, but it's enough because Mills now has fresh tyres, Riera has fresh tyres, and we have a straight pace fight to the end. The difference is Riera has to pass on track. Corey Mackey is still leading this race right now, but we obviously know he still has yet to pit. What is going on in the midfield? So we have a Rego. He's going to the end on the hard. It's going to be hard for him to do it. He's going to have to go a long way, but he's going to have to try to hold on to P5. Cardozo, I think he has to stop again. Yeah, I think Cardozo has to stop again. Rabi. No, Rabi will have just pitted. So Rabi's going to the end. Is he on the hard tires? In which case, Rabi's going to be climbing through the field as opposed to falling backwards. Harto is racing a whole load of nobody in 8th place. Worrell, I think, is racing nobody unless Kovacic is close behind. Yes. Oh, no, this is Riera. So Worrell's racing Riera, which we've seen quite a few times here today. 20 laps to go. Riera, I'm not happy with Bill Worrell, but, well, I don't think Bill's too happy with Argenis, to be honest with you. So, you know, no harm, no foul. This is Sturgio. We know he's out of the race. We don't know why he's out of the race. We do know he's out of the race, unfortunately. Can Ferrari get a point? They need to break this kind of weird season up that they have where they either get great points or nothing. This is Mackie enjoying some laps, leading the race. Without incident, however. I mean, listen, if Riera and Mills get together, Corey Mackey wins the race. And, more importantly, Sanabria would get P10. Just saying. It's always worth continuing on. If Higgins had kept driving right now, he would probably be in P12 as well. Who is this in the pits? This is Harto. So Harto's in the pits for his final stop. Bill is 12 seconds behind. Is Bill going to get out in front? No, he's not. So I think that's P8 locked up for the British driver. Oh, he came out. Oh, that was Mills. Right, so where's Riera then? So Riera's going to be right near Harto, and Harto's going to have to get out of the way. Mackie leading the race. So Worrell pitted at the same time. So yep, so Worrell is going to come out in P10. Now he's behind Kovacic, but does Kovacic have to pit? And he probably does, yes. So Worrell's looking on for P9 right now. There is Riera getting past Harto, and Riera shakes at Harto as well. I don't know what Argenis wants guys to do. Get out of the way at Hungary. You know, when you're the driver that nerfed the driver off the track. But listen, you're the champ, sure. No problem. No harm, no foul. So Kovacic, P9. We're watching Harto still, but he's racing a whole load of nobody. Is this this is Harto. Who's that? Oh, it's that's Del Castillo a lap down behind. And now we are looking at the Williams that is going to score many more points here today. Corey Mackey filling in for the first of one. Bermudans in Richard Walcott. So Corey's going to come out behind Montero. He's going to have fresh tires. He's going to go mediums. Corey Mackey's going to go mediums, I think, to the end. 16, 17 laps. That's reasonable. Montero is ahead of him. Montero has to pit again. What is that gap? Because Montero, of course, will go softs again and be really, really quick in catching up to Mackey. Surely the gap is... He's going to be too far back, though. Here is the gap that really matters. 2.6 seconds. Now it all just... But it doesn't. This is the problem. So it all comes down to the fact of whether Mills' tyres will last. But really it doesn't, because Riera's are only going to be 1 lap better off. So if a tire's at 34% versus 39%, it doesn't really matter. It's just genius for Mills. Started P4. He's had great pace, but really I think it's the strategy here today that has set him off different. Riera just has unbelievable pace, we know that. And he's ran a good strategy. I just think he's been caught out here by Mills. Riera really hasn't done anything wrong. And this is what we're dealing with here. We've got... Oh, it says Mackie went on softs. So Mackie went on the softs, so that's why. So he will be just as equally quick. Soft 16 laps. They're going to be pretty toast at the end, but I think it'll make it work. I think Mackie's in 3rd. Montero is in P4. So we are looking at then Orrego, Cardozo, but I think it's Rabi still over Orrego and Cardozo. And then Hato, Warrell, Kovacic, maybe Del Castillo can get a point. Is he going to the end? I'm not sure what happened to Juan. He was looking really strong. We saw he was clearly trying to go long, which is a difficult strategy to pull off at this, but he was doing a good job of blocking others from getting the undercut on him. I think he might have had an incident somewhere that we missed, because he looked really quick. That Haas car looked really, really racy. So he might have missed an incident. We know what happened to Sanabria, and we've seen a couple of incidents from Senior. This is Montero. He's going to pit. He's not going to give Corey Mackie the satisfaction of passing him on circuit. He's going to make him do it in the pit lane. So Montero will go to the end of the race, but he's a full pit stop behind now because of that contact with the wall. He's in no danger of being overtaken from behind. There he goes. It says mediums. I'm not going to try and guess anymore. We'll wait until the game updates. The graphic on the left-hand side, by the way, is always accurate. The game itself, not so much. So what will Montero fancy to the end of this race? He's going to come out in traffic. Blue flag, blue flag. Is Cardozo maybe? No, probably Del Castillo again. Not too sure which one it is. Oh, it's Cardozo. Sorry, it's not traffic. We're racing for position here. So he came out behind Cardozo. No great surprise. But of course, he's gonna make that pass work. I think Cardozo has to pit again. So, you know, relax, Matt. We're not exactly racing for real position here. That's why I was a bit surprised. Orrego, of course, has to pit as well. He's just 2 seconds further down the road. So Orrego and Cardozo are going to pit. Rabi's not. Rabi's only 1 second behind Montero. So he's not going to be a threat for Zeke, because Zeke is going to have fresher tires. And will Rabi have to pit again? Whoa! Cardozo pits. That's what we predicted would need to happen. And actually, they didn't go as long as I thought they would. It's probably by design. But I'm not even convinced that Rabi can go to the end. Sanabria is in the pits. Unfortunately, he's spent too much time in the pits here today. And that will move Senior up to P12. So Sanabria is the last place runner right now. Sergio, Lalancet, Oppenheim and Higgins are all out of the Hungarian Grand Prix. Up at the front, we are almost in DRS zone at Budapest, which means almost nothing, by the way. Yes, you get the speed from the wing being open. It doesn't make any difference. You're not going to make a pass just based on DRS. You're going to need a mistake. You're going to need to be much faster and be able to hang right on the back of the driver in front. And we've seen that Mills's car is pretty racy in a straight line. I think Riera's is too, though. So we have a battle to win. Oh, and that's very wide from Mills. Very wide from Mills. 0.4 of a second faster last time round for Riera. The pressure starting to mount on the championship leader from the champion in 2025. These two, it looks like a two-way fight. We might be eliminating Ezekiel Montero from championship contention, realistically, here today. It just looks like it's a two-way fight between Mills and Riera. We have in the pits is Orego. We are waiting to see if Rabi has to pit. Will Orego come out behind Cardozo? Orego will come out behind Cardozo. Yes, he will. Advantage Jacobo. But they're going to have a dogfight to the end as well for 6th place. And if Rabi pits, he's going to be involved in that fight too. Here is Riera. DRS is active, which again means very little. How is he going to find a way around Josh Mills? That's the problem that he faces. He's got time on his side. He has 12 laps to do it. But I'm just not sure how he's going to do it. It's not that it's not an easy track to pass on. It's near impossible to pass if you're on the same tyres with a driver that is equally as fast as you. All of these overtakes that we've seen today have been purely down to different strategies and different tyres. One-on-one racing on circuit without a mistake, which Mills is flirting with right now. You don't want to be flirting with the grass. You get stained. Rabi's in the pits. So there is Rabi in the pits. We finally... It's still going to be okay for McLaren. They're going to be in 6-7. 6-7! We got it in there. Ho-ho! But he's going to get the mediums on. He's going to be racy. Will Orego move out of the way? It's going to be an interesting fight. 5-6-7 is going to be a really good fight. This is a good fight. We need to get the pass done. We need to get the pass done. The longer it lasts, the more that Josh Mills will believe that he can do this. He can hold off the charging Riera for 10 more laps. You can see Riera's not got... He's on the hards as well. It's not like this is a guy on the mediums or the softs. Very, very difficult with the aero wash to actually get close enough to that car to be able to launch a move down the front straight. If there's a man that can do it, it's Jenis Riera. Will traffic play a part? As Kovacic is in the pits, can Del Castillo get that point back from Dejan Kovacic? He's had a very solid drive today, Dejan. He started down in 15th, hasn't had the best pace. Probably not too happy with the car. If he can take a point right now, he would steal a point and run for the hills. And it looks like he's come out in front of Del Castillo, so he's going to be in P10 without a mistake. Riera, he's not able to close the gap more than 0.6 of a second around the final turn. It's not going to get it done. We'll try again next time. We are coming up on 10 laps to go in this never-ending Hungarian Grand Prix. My voice is just like the tires, completely fried. But we're still going to stick around because we got a dogfight here for the race win. Jenis Riera, remember back to 2025, and if you weren't here in 2025, just look at the intro. Ezekiel Montero, who just puts up the fastest lap, was leading the Grand Prix on the final lap of the race, and our Jenis Riera stole it from him with an unbelievable last lap overtake at turn 4. If anybody can do it, it's Riera. I just don't know if he can do it. Here is the inevitable McLaren fight. I think these drivers would want to swap pretty quickly here and allow Rabi to go and attack Cardozo, which they have done. These two are working brilliantly together to bring home some great points for McLaren here today. 10 laps to go. Now, Riera's going to have to make a launch at some point. Oh, Josh Mills is sliding. Maybe Mills is just going to be too hard on his tires. Maybe he's just going to slide off the circuit at one point and let Riera through. That's really the biggest danger right now. It's not a Riera overtake. It's a Mills mistake. Christian Horner will be tapping the foot if he was still employed, which he's not. Such a shame, by the way, as a lifetime McLaren fan. Anyway, moving on. Oh! Every time we come around that chicane, I just worry that Mills is going to tappity-tap that right rear, onto the grass. Left from the viewpoint that I'm looking at. I know my left-rights. Oh! Mills is just... Can he keep that car on the track for another 9 laps remaining at the end of this? The gap is still the exact same. Don't get excited, ladies and gentlemen. Don't think that they're closer. Riera's not closer. He's still 6 to 7 tenths of a second behind. He needs it to be 4 tenths to really have a chance. On the front straight, there's no hope of Mills running out of boost. It's not a factor here, and that's also what makes overtaking very, very difficult. There's just no way to gain an advantage, and DRS is not a big enough advantage. You would really need the DRS to be active into turn 12 as well, just to help Riera gain that extra 1 or 2 tenths of a second to get close behind him. This is his teammate Senior in the pits. Unfortunately for Ricciardo Senior, the high attrition seems to have stopped. There is the tappity-tap, dippity-dip. Wheel on the grass again for Josh Mills coming out that chicane. He is millimeters away from losing the lead of this race. The pressure from the champion. You're leading the championship. Mills doesn't need to win the race, but he's smart enough to know that he does need to win the race. Any chance that you get to win the race, that's how you win a championship. You don't win a championship by letting Riera win and you taking the 7-point loss. Riera is a little bit closer, but he's going to have to do a launch, which I can't see him doing it. He's going to need Mills to go wide here at turn 2. He's going a bit wider, but not wide enough. I could see an area where Mills goes wide at turn 2, and then maybe Riera lines him up for a pass again into turn 4. Nowhere to pass around here, but it'll be hard on the boost, trying to keep as close to that Red Bull as you can. You almost have to ignore that car exists as much as you can. Just focus on hitting your points. Try and stay close enough. Through the aero wash. Through 11. Downshift. Oh, you can see the wash. It's brutal. Through that turn 11, it's terrible because he can't keep close enough, and now he's getting rattled. Advantage Josh Mills for another lap. We're going to go around again. Another 4.3 kilometer lap completed at Hungary. And Josh Mills holds off Riera again and pulls out a gap. Although Riera has fresher tyres, if he gets them too hot, they won't be better tyres. It's the constant game that you play. Cardozo's still ahead of Rabi. We'll keep an eye on that fight. There isn't really any other fights going on. Mackey's guaranteed 3rd, Montero 4th. The 5-6 is definitely up for grabs. Arrego's going to be probably 7 unless he catches Cardozo. Hato 8, Worrell 9, Kovacic likely in 10, and Del Castillo he's still in my favorite position right now. There's still a chance for Del Castillo to get a point. Riera has closed back in again. He's calmed the tide. We have a yellow. Anytime we have a yellow at the end of the race, we are interested in it. And here is Rabi and Cardozo. Rabi with an opportunity on Jacobo Cardozo. Both of these drivers probably joint driver of the day. Well, Mills is going to have something to say about that. Up 3 spots. But these guys have put in a great, great drive. Cardozo and Rabi. We don't want a collision. We want to keep it clean to the end of the race. There is Riera. You get excited he's so close, but it's close because he's just come out of turn 1. We're going to keep an eye on this fight because this is more likely to be an overtake because Rabi has much fresher tyres. think about 3 laps fresher than Jacobo. They're both on the mediums. But is 3 laps fresher tyres enough to make a pass? Or can Cardozo hold on? I'd rather have the track position. There goes Ravi! That's what happens with the aero wash. He will get a little bit of a penalty. You basically get 4 seconds that you're allowed over the duration of the race, that you can gain up to 4 seconds according to the game. If you gain any more than that, then you will find that you end up with a time penalty given from the game. Mills, as confident as he is, it's 6 seconds, it's 6/10 again. That means he's safe. Without a mistake around the last corner, 6/10 of a second is enough to hold off Riera again. 5 laps to go. The battle for the championship. Could this be the decider in the championship? Will it? This is a 14-point swing, basically. It's a very important swing. 14 points between Mills winning and Mills coming in second, because you're giving 7 points to your championship rival as well at the same time. Riera will be confident. He's done it before. He's won here before, but he'll also be a little bit livid. You can see the frustration in him when with the back markers, thinking that the world's going against him today. I generally don't think it has. I just think Mills has found something absolutely genius to win the race. This is Cardozo and Rabi again. Rabi tight. Can he get on the power? This is going to be interesting. Rabi for P5. Needs to get the pass done. Will Cardozo go defensive? He kind of thinks about it. Rabi goes up the inside. Cardozo goes wide. And Aaron Rabi takes the position. Cardozo gave it away. Now can he hold on from the other McLaren? Because Orrego might be catching him up. This is the Riera fight one more time. 4 laps to go for Josh Mills. This is the danger zone for those hard tyres. Dropping off of a cliff. This is so difficult for Josh. He's had to keep Riera behind him, not make a single mistake, push his car to the limit in order to do that, but not overdrive the tyres, because he's had to stretch the hard tyres as long as they'll go. He made a lot of work for himself, but he's doing it beautifully. Look at how close we are. Oh, this is the corner that makes me nervous. That chicane makes me very nervous. We are 5 tenths behind. If Riera can gain 1 more tenth of a second around these last 2 corners, we might have a chance. We might still yet to be able to win the race. 4 tenths of a second is the gap. We just need to get through these last 2 corners with the best last 2 corners that you have ever done. This is the opportunity. He knows it. He wants to get on the power. He does. But oh, Josh does it brilliantly. The one time that you need to hook up the last corner as good as you possibly can, and Mills does it. 3 laps to go. Riera will have to go round again, looking at Oracle. He won't want to see that car ever again. Pressure-filled stuff here. Will any of these drivers crack? Of course, we said it could be a 14-point swing. If one of these drivers puts it in the wall right now, it could be a heck of a lot more than 14 points. Look at how close Riera is to this section. Mills knows, though. Just don't make a mistake. So long as you're good around the last 3 corners, 12, 13, 14, it doesn't really matter how good you are through that part of the track. Just don't put it on the grass. We're back within 4 tenths of a second again. This is as close as we've ever been to taking the lead of the Grand Prix, and Mills has run over the curb. That'll slow him down a little bit. It's all about these last 2 corners again. But we're still going to be a tenth too far away, I think, for Mills. He's definitely closer. But is he close enough? Riera will get a little bit more slipstream, but he's going to have to make a launch to make this happen. Can he pressure Josh Mills into going deep? That is not an easy thing to do. Of course, if Mills has mirrors on, Riera will be all over him in that bright green car. And the green car is very intimidating. It's bright, it's fast. We know Riera has been driving it for a couple years now, so everybody knows who's coming. But Mills is used to this. This would be one of Mills' best drives, I think, that I've seen if he holds off Riera here. Because I genuinely think Argenis Riera is the faster driver. I understand I might not be giving Mills the credit, but it's not by much. There's a yellow. What is going on? I don't like yellows near the end of the race. Del Castillo loves yellows near the end of the race because he's in my favorite position, P11. The yellow flag is music to his ears. We are 8/10 back. Josh Mills has pulled away. It looks like he's going to hold off. This is a disaster for him because this is the final lap of the race. The final opportunity for Riera. And Mills is pulled away. I don't see it happening. Riera, he's too far back to try anything. He can't even get close enough to just have a look. He would just love a look, an opportunity. There'll be no turn 4 miracle this year for Argenis Riera. Oh, and he almost runs over that curve, which could end up in the wall. He's trying with everything he has. We have a yellow in Sector 2. We are watching this fight, however. I'll keep an eye. Oh, Arrego! Arrego past Cardozo. Oh, there's a car on fire! There's a car on fire! Mills has run wide! Because he probably saw the car on fire! And was like, what? Like, ultimate distraction, but Riera couldn't take advantage. Who is on fire? It's gotta be Cardozo that's on fire. Mills is gonna win the race, despite that flaming distraction. Josh Mills, driver of the day, no doubt about it, ladies and gentlemen, wins the Hungarian Grand Prix at Budapest in style. Who is on fire? It is Cardozo, because he's dropping down the order. How did he blow the engine on the last lap of the race? Wow. What a drive from Mills. That is going to extend his championship and take a real blow to Argenis Riera. Mills will go again, and sometimes he might even be the fastest driver. Today, he was the best driver. Mackie comes home in 3rd, Montero 4th, Rabi and Arrego 5 and 6. It works out for McLaren in the end. Great drive from both of them. Congratulations to Team McLaren, getting a double high scoring points. Harto comes home in 7th, Kovacic all the way up to P8 in the end. What a great day for him. He will take the 4 points and be ecstatic with that after starting in 15th place. Cardozo still gets 2 points for his flaming troubles. Worrell was too far back. He was a lap down. So Bill Worrell gets P10. And Del Castillo, P11. It almost worked. We set a car in fight. There's cars everywhere. There are cars everywhere right now. We got Riera trying to nurse home his car. Mills trying to nurse home the car. We have obviously Cardozo. He's parked on the grass and on fire. He'll still get 2 points. Wow. That was an interesting end of the race. I didn't expect the flaming distraction, and it almost caught Josh Mills out. It's not what you expect to see. It's just that little trigger in your brain. You start thinking about the fire, right? Oh, there's a fire, and you're off. Like, that's all you need is that little bit of distraction. Worrell DNF'd. That's why Worrell didn't pass Cardozo. He DNF'd too. So we have 2 DNFs in 9 and 10, and then 2 drivers that finished in 11 and 12. That is very, very unlucky for Del Castillo and Sanabria, that those drivers did not DNF a lap earlier. Whoa! Josh Mills wins in Hungary. Fantastic drive. One of the best drives I think I've seen of him. And look, the drivers are parking side by side. That's brilliant. Riera in 2nd. Corey Mackie in 3rd. Montero with the mistake in 4th. McLaren 5 and 6. Harto scores double points for Williams in 7th. Kovacic does get Ferrari 4 needed points to break their streak and catch up on Alpine 2. Jacobo Cardozo in P9 with a flaming end to his race. And Bill Worrell took advantage, got a point, but would have loved to get another point had he been able to finish the race. I'm not sure why he wasn't able to finish the race. Del Castillo, no longer my favorite position, P11. We almost did it. We almost set a car on fire, but it didn't quite work for him today. And Sanabria, a very, very unlucky disconnect, electrical issue. Otherwise, Sanabria would have definitely been in the points here today. Senior in 13, DNF. Sotiris Sergio, a DNF. JPL, a huge missed opportunity for him. Oppenheimer in 16 and Sean Higgins, P17. These drivers will go again for the next race. So Mills will extend his championship lead. And he does it in style. He does it right in front of Argenis Riera's eyes. And that could be the difference between the champion and second place. So that's all from Hungary, from myself and Sim Racing Hub at Budapest for round 11 of the Sim Racing Hub Championship. We will see you next time at Imola, San Marino for round 12 in Italy. The start of the Italian run that we have kind of going on. And I know they say San Marino's not in Italy. I get it, sure, but it's close enough. Okay, then you have Monza, which is going to be a crazy race. And then Mugello, fantastic track to just watch and drive around. With a long straight, better for overtaking than here. So join us for those races, and we'll see you next time. That's all from me. Take care.